So your challenge in the next hour is to resolve where your books that are under there are going to go. It's worth doing this because you're going to be here for months, I think. You have to go back to the States anyway.
To avoid losing my green card in March. But obviously we have a national lockdown that goes until March.
Yeah.
And we also have a mutated virus.
Yeah.
I'm just going to message with Matthew because I was going to have a video chat with Matthew Ballard at 2.
Whoa, do that anyway. Go ahead and do that.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, wait, this is loud.
That's what building a wall sounds like.
Are you recording?
Mm-hmm.
If you can record it and then if you get a file,
I'll send it to you.
you can send it to me.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Are you working on the same project that was concerning toxic masculinity? Is that,
it's the same thing.
But now you're coming up with a narrative. This is your tour of your boat.
This is the boat. This is our bedroom. It's got all the cladding on.
Mm-hmm.
That white thing that you can see under the door, that's a massive water tank.
Oh, okay.
So that's where we fill up our water. It's 800 litres, and then that's where we get our water from during the night visit. And this is our burner.
Ooh.
And our fireplace and our hearth with our cupboards that we built.
You built the cupboards?
Yeah, we built those cupboards.
Lovely.
Everything in this boat we kind of built or done, apart from the kitchen, which we bought the kitchen. And we didn't install the gas, but I did put up the boiler, and we got someone to install our flue on our chimney. But the hearth we did, the pipe work behind.
How nice to have
so that's
constructed your own portable home.
We have, yeah, pretty much. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's fun. I say cool, it's quite difficult at times.
Are you working on the same project concerning toxic masculinity?
It's the same thing. So basically what's happened is, I had that writer involved, Matt Wixie, and he's written some other stuff which I'll share with you if you want to have a look at it.
Yeah, please, I'd love to.
And from that we decided on an overarching sort of premise for the piece, which definitely works and makes sense. So he's written some scenes that I think are really good. They're very well written, but I think I should workshop those scenes rather than take them and just put them into the piece. Because they're really good ideas, but I'm not sure I want it to be so monologue-y. I think it needs to be a scene with different characters in, even though it's just me playing those characters with jumping between them. Anyway, over Christmas, he messaged me and said that he's been commissioned to write a novel. He needs to do that by the end of 2021, so he can't do the play anymore. But I've got the material that we worked on, and I've got the premise that we came up with, and he said he's more than happy for me to use all of that stuff. He just wanted to be credited. The premise is following basically a young stand-up comedian, jobbing stand-up comedian called OLLIE Majors.
Is this stand-up comedian male?
Yeah, whose father has recently died. His father was abusive when he was around to both him and his mother. And then his mum took OLLIE and ran away from the father, and the father's been estranged since he was about 12, 13. And so the play is about OLLIE coming to terms with his father's death, but also who his father was. The play will be almost like a cathartic process for OLLIE himself, the character, to deal with who his father was and understand why his father was the way he was. But at the same time, struggling with some very intense emotions that he's going through because of who his father was.
This is very good.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? Do you like it?
Yeah. The thing that really struck me is in the text, things that happen tend to be indicated by the actor splitting himself between two parts and by illusion, so that the full comic and poetic weight of the piece is heightened by the free play of imagination. So the splitting fits, I think, with your focus in your project and some of the other things we were talking about in terms of Carl Jung and the unconscious, and the free play of imagination too, like the archangel saying it's all real and there's no imagination. It's like there's one story, the human receives as given the official story as presented by the priests. There's a celebration and cultivation of imagination as something that enables connection with truth. Obviously, politically it's interesting, but also psychologically in terms of the big ideas and the ideas about what it is to be human and power and empowerment. I really like that it's avoiding making it be, there's abuse, some men are bad, some fathers are really bad. He's very bad, someone who experienced abuse from their father who is bad. Like,
Yeah.
It goes deeper than that.
Yeah.
That was what was making me think that the Joseph Campbell stuff would be particularly relevant, because there it's like this weird paradox of like, oh yeah, he's God the Father, you know, acting in a way which, saying things that seem quite unethical. If we can just sit with what's there, something might happen that wouldn't happen if we jump straight to imposing the narrative. God is abusive in this story.
Yeah.
Job is good. They're playing with what could be called good, bad consciousness, and with the idea that a different type of good, different quality of good comes from self-awareness and acceptance and integration.
What it might be good is to take that Job story and turn it into a fable-esque short narration.
When he's like in the flow of a performance, you know, he could find himself making jokes that are to do with Job and that are to do with this, and it's like weird to him that that's happening.
Yeah.
And he could be concerned, like in his waking mind, like, I don't want religion to be in my stand-up comedy. Like,
yeah, that'd be cool. And then you could like delve into his psyche, and it could transform from that moment to actually being a scene in that state where he's kind of like,
yeah, and he's like wants to repress it, but on the other hand, it's coming up when everything is loose. And he's doing well, but it's like I definitely wouldn't plan these jokes.
Yeah.
And there's something discomforting about it. So I mean, that would be quite a real way to, you know, kind of embrace that discomfort and that weirdness.
That's good. That's cool. That's a great idea.